Basically, I'm here today to talk about the insurance claims process, what we need and why we need it. So we've got what is claimable under the body corporate policy we'll go through, how to lodge a claim, and what supporting documents are required. So basically what's covered under the body corporate insurance are the items listed here as a guide. It's a bit like law, there's no hard and fast rule that this is definitely, there are grey areas, but this gives you a bit of an overview as to what's covered. Basically common property and anything that's a permanent fixture. So the way I describe it to people is if you tip a unit upside down, anything that doesn't fall out is body corporate. So, next one. What is not claimable under the body corporate policy? Basically any of your lot owner fixtures, so your curtains, carpets, any loss of rent due to a tenant defaulting, that's landlord insurance, and yeah, just sort of an overview there of things, floating timber floors, carpet underlay, etc. So an example of an insurable event is storms. We've all lived through those in the recent months. Many of you have got current claims or have recently had claims for this, and as you know, it can be a very stressful time as well as just a painful process. So, vehicle impact looks a bit extreme. We've had buses reverse into buildings, so it's not as uncommon as you think. So this is something that's also claimable under the body corporate policy. Vandalism. That's both internal and external. We've currently got a claim where a tenant basically put a sledgehammer through benches, walls and everything. So, and glass is the most common, probably the most common claim that we get is glass, whether it be accidental storm damage. Yeah, that's the most common claim we have. So where do you start when lodging a claim? There are three key components that the insurer requires us to submit when lodging a claim. So the first thing is a claim form, which we've created a simple claim form that we send through to you, which just gives us the key information we need, a quote for the resultant damage, and an invoice or a report from a repairer confirming that the cause has been addressed. Why are these documents required? Basically, we need the claim form so that there's no misunderstanding as to what's being claimed and why, and what's actually happened. And it's important that the claim form is completed by an owner, basically again, so that nothing is omitted from that claim, we don't miss anything. And having all these facts and supporting documents prevents delays in the claim process. The reason for the quote is the insurer will need to know the extent of the damage when we submit the claim. So as a general rule, they appoint an assessor if the claim exceeds $6,000. Prior to it not reaching $6,000, generally they can issue an approval or they'll request a second quote or something. So that's just a bit of a guide, and that's the main reason that we do need the quote when we're lodging a claim. And the cause invoice. This is to prove to the insurer that the cause has been rectified. So if you've got a burst water pipe, we need to know that that's been fixed before we'll fix the resultant damage to the lot. And basically, in a nutshell, the insurer won't pay out on the same cause twice. So if you've not fixed the water pipe and you fix the resultant damage, the insurer's not going to pay out a second time on that same event. When we send out a claim information pack, one of the things that we put in there is that this additional information can assist with your claim. So if you've got any photos you can take of the damage and send through. If a third party is responsible, if you've got their details, send those through. And contact details for access if an assessor is required, then they can contact you quicker. So the information pack that we send out basically has your claim form, the information, the insurance fact sheets, and the legislation that applies to your particular scheme regarding the excess. When you want to lodge your claim, just email your claim form and the supporting documentation to our main insurance email address, or you can send it by post, or you can drop it into one of our offices. And basically, once we have all that information, we'll lodge the claim with the insurer. Once we've received all these documents and lodged the claim, we'll send you through a claim acknowledgement, and with that there's a claim reference number. Basically, whenever you're corresponding with us, if you can quote that reference number and the building, that speeds up the response time. A lot of the time we get emails with, please find attached my invoice with your name. We deal with a lot of people with the same names. It's not always a quick process to determine what particular scheme an invoice relates to, so that just helps with the process. And if the insurer accepts the claim, the works need to be carried out within a reasonable time frame. Once the work is completed, the invoice for these repairs will be sent to the insurer, where either the contractor will be paid directly by our office, or the body corporate will be reimbursed if they've already paid the invoice. So in summary, Capital will facilitate your claim process once all the supporting documents have been received. So in order for us to do that, a well-presented claim results in a quick response. So to do that, we require the claim form, quote to rectify the resultant damage, cause invoice, any photos that you've got, and contact details. So yeah, basically, if we can get all that information to the insurer straight up, that makes it a much quicker process in getting the claim through.